All right, part two to that last video. So I was in the kitchen. I just told you I don't remember what it was that I did where he got so mad. I'm thinking it had to be homework. It's something I didn't do, homework related, and I just know he got mad. And it will be worse if it was in front of someone else. Like when there's people around, people tend to show off more when there's people around. But I remember he got so mad, and I just ran in the bathroom. I wouldn't come out, but that kind of just always stuck with me. And when I was 19, we were in the kitchen. This is the last day I ever spent the night at his house or anything, but we were in the kitchen. And he asked me about, I remember it was some cookies. It was something about cookies, like don't open this box first. So it was like, don't open, I wanted to get some cookies. I remember it was something about cookies, but he wanted me to eat out the one that was already open. He didn't want me to open the new one, something like that. And I just kept saying, I don't know if I ignored him. I don't really know the genesis of that of how all this started, but we were like arguing, and of course his girlfriend was around, and we just argued. He sort of just like got real loud with because I don't remember how it started, but he got real loud. He just kept like yelling at me. He raised his voice, and I didn't know what he was going to do, and I wasn't like physically hit by him in years. But the next thing, when he raised his voice, I pulled out a kitchen knife on him and I pointed it to him. And I went off. I just said, look, I'm sick of your shit. I'm sick of everything you saying. I'm sick of the stuff. I'm sick of the way you talking to me. And after that, he just told me to get out, don't come back. And I got all my stuff and I left. But I never talked about this before, but when he raised his voice at me, I just thought about the time when I was 11, how he got so angry. And I don't know what it was about, but I remember I just ran in the bathroom and locked the door. And that's all I thought about when I pulled that knife on him. Now, that day, it damaged our relationship. After that, I've never lived with him in the same house after that ever again. And I believe that's why certain family members are really cautious about being around me. But what happened that day was the result of my growing paranoid state, stress, anxiety, PTSD, from a lot of things. And I don't like those labels. I don't like to label myself, but I feel like if he was just less of when I was a kid, because like I said, when my parents split up, I don't ever remember him being so like aggressive when it came to school and anything, like how I did, like performance wise or things around the house. Like there are things that his girlfriend's daughter didn't have to do around the house, but we were always subject to chores and we weren't allowed to do certain things. And it was just like, had I had just a normal 2-parent household where I didn't have to just experience some of the things I did, maybe I would have turned out a lot better. As in, the way I'm working now, I'm trying to find my own way. I'm trying to get a place. I wouldn't have probably had to go this route. I probably wouldn't have to really experience certain things that I had experienced had I just had a normal upbringing. And I'm just saying this to say, like, a lot of the people we see on the news that are accused of crimes, accused of doing things. I don't now just looking at myself. I always look at the parents. How did they raise this child to where he ended up like this? But if I can go back in time, I would have obviously told myself, like I said, if I go back to being 19, I would tell my 19-year-old self everything I know now. I would have had my license already, would have learned how to build up skills so I could work a good job and have my own place. Wouldn't be trying to get it almost pushing 30, but like I said, I just did the opposite of what I was told to do. But that day, it just brought back a lot of memories when he yelled at me, when he told me, and I think it was about cookies. He was raising his voice, and I went off. I pulled a knife on him. I just thought about all the times he put his hands on me. I wanted to protect myself. But I told you this day, I don't have a relationship with him at all. I don't I don't aspire to. Just looking back, whenever when you're at your lowest point in life, you do a lot of reflecting. And I told myself when I got out of the hospital, I'm not going to make the same mistakes I did. Because I have a lot of regrets. And someone with no regrets, I never met anyone with no regrets. If someone has no regrets, they haven't lived life. But I have a lot of regrets. And a lot of my regrets are concerning they're in regards to people who done me the worst. But I don't have a speaking relationship with him. It's been a little over a year, and I wanted to stay like that to heal. I want to heal from everything, all my childhood trauma, and that's the best way to heal is to avoid the people that started it. It's like when a slave leaves a plantation, when the slaves will run away, they don't forgive the master on the plantation. Like when Frederick Douglass returned back to his plantation and he saw his master, he did not hug and embrace his master. His master said to him, to Frederick Douglass, "I knew you were too smart to be a slave. That's why I wasn't surprised you escaped." But Frederick Douglass did not embrace that man. He didn't forgive that man. He didn't he that man treated Frederick Douglass like an animal, like a horse, like a dog. You don't forgive you don't forgive people who do harm and people that cause you to lose your reasoning. But I'm slowly just recovering from everything, like from childhood to things I've seen as an adult to things I've seen this year. I'm slowly just coming to terms that we live in a very sick world, and you got to be very careful who you associate yourself around.